Yeah, my emotions were a lot of grief. I just thought, this is a big loss, as far as the average kid that's going to go to college, get a job, get married, drive their own car. I tend to play things forward quite a bit, and I thought, wow, this may end up being different for a long, long time, the rest of our lives.
In my case, I got really, really mad at Barb, and I got really mad at God. I mean, this is our first baby, and all of our dreams and all of our hopes were dashed. There weren't going to be gymnastics lessons or ballet lessons, and we weren't going to see her graduate from school, and we weren't going to see her fall in love and get married and have kids. And all those dreams that a parent has were just gone.
You know, there are a number of things that are difficult. I think one of the hardest things is the loss of what you expected. We've talked about it a lot. There's a new normal, and losing the perception that I have to have the ideal life has been a difficult thing.
You know, you want so much for your child to do something that at this point they're just not capable of doing. Whether that's walking through the park and seeing children play and laughing and giggling and then looking down and realizing that she's not, that's something that she can't do.
The new normal has been really difficult.
Toppling that idol of ideal, because ideal for me was college educated and reaching the fullness of their potential intellectually, and they took a different path.
Even though that parenting piece was tough, everything else was strong enough to sustain with the waves of grief, as Dave mentioned, and the mourning the loss of the child we thought we would have. And even the therapists that we started working with and the doctors and the nurses were so positive and helpful and encouraging that it made it okay.
We learned over time to let her be her. She was going to be, comparing her was unfair. And it didn't make sense to do that. All it did was caused heartache for us. She doesn't know any different.
But that's something that years ago I had to lay down. And Chuck helped me with that, to say, hey, let's see them for who they are. Let's give them a much bigger, clean palette to explore who they are. And that was a lot harder for me than for him.
We communicated on a factual basis, and then the emotions slowly returned, and we realized that we were still good together. We still loved each other. We still could have fun together. We still could dream together. It's just, it was a different dream now.
I know it sounds crazy, but grief, it is grieving. You have to have those big ugly cries. You have to have those moments where you almost go through all the same stages of grief, because you have to grieve over the child you thought you would have, to grieve the life you thought you would have. You have to grieve the life you thought they would have. You have to grieve things like the loss of friends. You have to grieve the change in your relationships. It is much like a loss. And that was one of the best things that another ACARDI mom said to me when we first got the diagnosis was, take the time and grieve, because if you never let go of what you thought you were supposed to have, or where you thought you were going to be, or the plan you had, then you'll never be able to grab onto the new.